Children, today I shall be taking up the important questions and answers of the chapter Discovering Tut. The saga continues. I shall also be sharing this PDF file with you for your ready reference. Children, apart from the textual questions, I shall also be taking up some extra questions which are important from the examination point of view. Before moving on to what is written in front of you, let me give you a little information. Now all this we have already discussed, we have already watched in the video, we have already read in the lesson. I just want you to jot down a little information which you can use to write refined answers. Now Tutankhamun, he ruled 3300 years ago and he occupied the throne at the age of 9 and he died at the age of 18. Now there are a number of mysteries that are associated with his death. Now one such speculation means the guesswork, okay, is that he was deliberately sent to the battlefield and then murdered. One more information, a hole was found in his skull and experts say that the hole resulted after his mummification. Children, mummification process we have read, and I had also told you that they used some special balms and resins and oils, to preserve the body and to prevent it from decaying. So they used to pour it inside the body by extracting the internal organs. They used to pour this oil inside the body so as to prevent it from decaying. Now the Valley of the Kings, it is also contained in the chapter only, children. The Valley of Kings, the place where King Tut was buried, along with the kings and queens and nobles of that place. Okay, so it was the resting place of the dead, the Valley of the Kings or the Valley of the Dead. Now there was a pharaoh's curse, children. Okay, and what was the curse? Now let us read. To protect their dead and to prevent robbers and political enemies from desecrating the royal burials. Desecrating means, children, to show disrespect or to damage. So that the robbers and the political enemies, they did not damage or show any kind of a disrespect to the dead, the Egyptians, they used to invoke or they had associated a curse, death or misfortune falling upon anyone who disturbed the dead. Children, it should be dead, D-E-A-D. Now dead, disturbed the dead. Dead over here is used as a noun. Okay. So they had associated this curse. Now I am giving you a little information over here, children. We read about Howard Carter. Now Howard Carter's patron, children, he died 5 months after Tut's tomb was discovered. He died of blood poisoning, that too by a mosquito bite. So this was something unusual, okay, and it is a belief that his death was related to the curse. Also, Howard Carter, he had a yellow canary, a bird that was swallowed by a cobra. And the irony is that cobras, they are rare in Egypt. So this is also something unusual. So the deaths and the misfortune that had fallen on Carter, because in his 1920s, he was the first person to pull out the tomb of King Tut. So it was a kind of a disrespect. If you remember what was written and what was commented by Zahi Hawass, that the tomb is in a very bad shape. You remember? So this was the reason we can associate, this is the reason that we can associate that the curse had befallen on them, on Howard Carter's patron and his canary bird, indirectly on Carter. Okay, now let us move on to the question and answers of the textbook, children. You had to give reasons for King Tut's body has been subjected to repeated scrutiny. Children, scrutiny over here means observation. His body has been repeatedly observed. Why? Tut was the last of the pharaohs of a powerful Egyptian family and was buried with a stunning number of funerary treasures. A lot of funerary treasures. One cannot believe, stunning number. He was a subject of interest for curious researchers, and researchers, they were eager to know about his life, who were keen to know the scintillating details of his life and death. Scintillating means dazzling, something that is very sparkling, but here it can be said that exciting details. Okay, the keen to know the exciting details, something knowing which they could become very excited or become highly excited. So dazzling details here means the exciting details of his life and death. There were several lingering medical mysteries associated with Tut. Lingering medical mysteries means hanging about, still not clear, associated with Tut. People wished to probe the secrets of the time when he died and the manner of his death. So people still want to know the probe. Probe means they want to investigate, they want the reality to come to light. And what secrets to come to light? The secret of the time when he died, the time when he died, and the manner of his death, the way he died. One speculation that I have already told you. Okay, next. Give reasons for why Howard Carter's investigation was resented. Resented, I have told you, looked down upon by, or it was criticized. Now, why was Howard Carter's investigation criticized? Children, I have made you underline in detail. Chapter is situational, situation based questions can be formed. You have to write exactly what is contained in the chapter. Okay. Howard Carter's investigation was resented because in order to raise the remains of Tut from his coffin, he chiseled away the solidified resins. Everything has been taken from the book only, children, no new information added to it. So it was chiseled away the solidified resins that cemented his body to the coffin. We had read that the resins, it had cemented, strongly held the body, the coffin, isn't it? So what did he do? He used a chisel and he cut through the edges. Also, he cut his head and severed nearly every major joint to separate Tut from his adornments. Yes, the burial adornments were all around and his body was chiseled out in a very rough and rustic and unscientific method. According to Howard Carter, okay, according to the Egyptians, he had violated the sanctity, of the long dead and dishonored him through this method. Okay, so he had violated the sanctity. It was something very solemn, it was something very pious, and he had violated the seriousness of the long dead and disturbed him and showed disrespect. So Howard Carter, he had used unscientific and illegitimate ways, right? Unscientific and illegitimate ways. You remember what question he posed? Now what can be done? This was a very illogical question that he had put forward. What could be done? I just could not understand what could be done. So it was an illegitimate way to investigate King Tut's body, the manner of his death. Okay, next point. Children, I will be sharing this file with you also, so it will not be difficult for you to follow. King Tut's body was buried along with gilded treasures, gold. Okay, Egyptians, they believed in the concept of resurrection. Okay, I will now not explain this word resurrection. They thought that the dead would require the riches even after death. They would require the valuables, the gold, even after their death. So they buried their dead with stunning artifacts and treasures. Please refer to my previous video lesson to know the meaning of these words used, artifacts. The external brilliance of the treasures was meant to guarantee resurrection. Because they were still shining, because they were brilliantly sparkling, shining, it meant that the dead would definitely rise. Okay, next question now. Give reasons why the boy had changed his name from Tutankhaten to Tutankhamun. Very, very important. In the last video lesson, I have explained to you in detail. Kindly watch that video. Then only you will be able to understand this, because children, here the answer is written in short. So in order to go into the details, you have to refer to what I have already explained. I have made you underline, I have given you additional points also. And children, I had also asked you to do a note making of this chapter. The best way to understand and remember the facts related to King Tut is to do a note making on this chapter. Okay. To restore the old ways, Amenhotep IV had suspended the worship of Amun and had destroyed his temples in his time and had switched to the worship of Aten, isn't it, the sun god. What did he do, children? Amenhotep IV, he had succeeded, taken the throne and had overturned the old ways. What did he do? He started worshipping Aten, the sun god. However, when Tut ascended the throne, when he occupied the throne, he started the worship of Amun. He restored the old ways, children. Okay, he brought back the old ways. So he was also considered a very revolutionary leader, children. He started the worship of Amun again and changed his name from Tutankhaten to Tutankhamun. Here, children, they used to take the name of the god as suffix. Okay, so Tutankhaten, from initially he was known as Tutankhaten. Why? Because he had immediately come into occupied the throne after him, Akhenaten. Okay, the details will be only clear if you read the chapter and if you refer to the last video lesson. Otherwise, you will stay confused. However, when Tut ascended the throne, he started the worship of Amun and he even restored the old ways, children, that were overthrown by Amenhotep, Akhenaten, yes. And then he changed his name from Tutankhaten to Tutankhamun, or the living image of Amun. Okay, now let's move on to the next. Children, the advances in technology that have improved forensic analysis. Now these are little scientific terms, we can just read through it once. Children, the medical technology has been consistently improving and is using more sophisticated tools, sophisticated scientific tools, which are capable of giving much better, accurate and refined results. X-rays, okay, computed tomography, these are all medical advances in technology. Then radiology, that is imaging technology, etc., all have to ascertain causes of death. They can prove very helpful in probing the mystery, mystery behind the death of King Tut, and also help in diagnosis. These techniques help researchers to study a body in detail. Okay. Next question, and this is a very important question from examination point of view, children. King Tut is one of the first mummies to be scanned in death as in life, marching regularly ahead of his countrymen. Now, this is again a textbook question, but a very important one. This statement encapsulates the extraordinary achievement of King Tut in life. Encapsulates means, children, in a nutshell, it talks about the extraordinary achievement of King Tut in life. He was the youngest and the last pharaoh to have ascended the throne. Please mind the spelling over here, children. Ascended the throne. He rules only for 9 years, yet he took revolutionary steps. I just told you that he had again reinstated the old ways. He had again taken up the old ways, restored the old ways which were overturned by Akhenaten. Okay. He rules only for 9 years, yet he took revolutionary steps like restoration of all that had been overthrown by Amenhotep IV. Now, why I am calling Akhenaten as Amenhotep IV? I will only tell you one thing. The answer to all these questions is the video lesson that I have posted before this. Go and watch it. He received recognition for restoring the worship of Amun, a major god, even at such a young age. Now, children, at such a young age, he, was not self-centered, but he thought from the society's point of view. He always used to think in the interest of his countrymen, the common man. So, what did he do? He received recognition for restoring the worship of Amun, a major god, even at such a young age. Even after he remained a royal leader, his mummy and his death generated unprecedented interest, and he is being researched even till date of the several mummies discovered by the Egyptians. Now, his manner and time of death is still unknown, children. So, while in life he was considered to be when he was living, when he was alive, he was considered to be a revolutionary leader. That was a point of attraction for the researchers, and his death, that again attracted the researchers, because there is a mystery shrouding his death, that how did he die, the manner behind his death, it's still unknown. Okay, and hence we say that Tut's mummy is one of the first mummies to be scanned in death as in life, marching regularly ahead of his countrymen. Children, regularly ahead means, making a lot of announcement ahead of his countrymen. Okay, next question now. Let us move on to the next question. There are some additional questions given here. Describe in detail the work done by Howard Carter. I had given you some additional questions already, and I have even made you mark. So, how did he work? It was a stepwise approach. We have read all this. I have made you underline. You will be answering these questions, children. Short note on King Tut. Again, important question. You should be able to write. You will be talking about King Tut, the information that I have given you in the very beginning. All that you will be writing. There is a paragraph written at the introductory paragraph given on the first page of the chapter, that you will include. Okay. Why is 5th January 2005 significant in Tut's saga? Children, you will be referring to the textbook. Now, it's given over here that you have to talk about 5th January 2005. Now, where is it written? It is there on page number here 23 children. Page number 23, first paragraph. It was 6 p.m. on 5th January 2005. The world's most famous mummy glided headfirst into a CT scanner brought here to probe the lingering medical mysteries of this little understood young ruler who died more than 3,300 years ago. So to probe the reason behind his death, and that too in a scientific manner, this mummy was undergoing a CT scan for the very first time. And when? On 5th January 2005, and hence this date is significant in Tut's saga. Okay, what was the Pharaoh's curse? Who refers to it in what context? Okay, Pharaoh's curse, on the very onset, I have already explained in today's video lesson. The first point that we read, it was the curse, and two additional informations also I have given to you. One about Carter's patron who died, and second was the death of his canary. Okay, these two points also you can include. Okay, next, list the adornments and the golden objects on Tut's body. Okay, I have made you underline. It should not be difficult for you. Again, a direct question from the book. How was Tut's body carried to the scanner? Okay, carried to the scanner, children. The answer is here contained here. On page number 26, the last paragraph, children, the night of the scan, workmen carried Tut from the tomb in his box. Now, this whole paragraph is the answer. You have to be selective, but don't give any additional points. Use the exact information contained in this paragraph only, children. How did the workers carry Tut's body to the scanner? Okay, and what happened to the machine? And then fans were brought, and the workers appeared to be like pallbearers. They were climbing a ramp. Okay, everything you need to mention over here. It can be it can come as a 5-marker question also, a 2-marker question also. Okay, what snack did the $1 million scanner develop? Okay, again the answer is contained here. Now this question, the second last one, that what snack did the $1 million scanner develop? This is a 2-marker question. So exactly you just have to write about the fan overheating, and then additional fans were brought. Why? Because the sand was choking, hindering the cooler fan. Okay. Next, describe the atmosphere when the scan was over. Okay, now this answer is contained here, children. Let me just tell you. Page 28, the last paragraph. By the time we left the trailer, descending metal stairs to the sandy ground, the wind had stopped. The winter air lay cold and still like death itself. So I told you there was deathly silence. In this valley of the departed, just above the entrance to Tut's tomb, stood Orion, the constellation that the ancient Egyptians knew as the soul of Osiris, the god of afterlife, watching over the boy king. So everything was again peaceful. Why? Because the scanning process was over. Tut was again laid to rest in peace, and the environment, the conditions again became normal. Okay, so I think I have discussed some additional questions also with you, children. I shall be sharing this PDF file with you. You can refer to it and write these answers. Thank you and have a good day.